For those of us who lived through the 1980s, Madonna Louise Ciccone was more than just a pop star. She was a cultural phenomenon that changed the landscape of music, fashion, and what it meant to be a woman in the entertainment industry. Born on August 16, 1958, in Bay City, Michigan, Madonna grew up in a large Italian-American family that valued hard work, faith, and determination. Her early life was marked by tragedy when her mother passed away from breast cancer when Madonna was only 5 years old. This loss profoundly shaped her, instilling in her a fierce independence and drive that would become her trademark. Growing up in the suburbs of Detroit, she was a straight-A student and a talented dancer, showing early signs of the discipline and ambition that would carry her to superstardom. In 1978, with just $35 in her pocket, Madonna moved to New York City to pursue her dreams. This was a bold move for a young woman in those days. New York in the late 70s was gritty, dangerous, and expensive, but it was also the center of the artistic universe. Madonna worked as a waitress, posed for art classes, and performed with several bands, scraping by while honing her craft. Those early years in New York were tough. She lived in rundown apartments, sometimes without heat, and struggled to make ends meet. But Madonna was relentless. She studied dance with renowned choreographer Pearl Lang, learned to play guitar and drums, and immersed herself in the downtown club scene, where punk, new wave, and early hip-hop were colliding to create something entirely new. By 1982, Madonna had caught the attention of Sire Records, and her debut single, Everybody, was released. It was a dance track that became popular in New York clubs, and it marked the beginning of something extraordinary. Her self-titled debut album came out in 1983, featuring hits like Holiday and Borderline. The album's success was modest by today's standards, but it established Madonna as an artist to watch. Then came 1984, and everything changed. Like a Virgin was released, and the title track became one of the most controversial and successful songs of the decade. Madonna's performance of the song at the first MTV Video Music Awards, where she rolled around on stage in a wedding dress, scandalized parents and delighted young people everywhere. It was provocative, it was daring, and it was quintessentially Madonna. What made Madonna different from other pop stars of her era was her complete control over her image and her willingness to constantly reinvent herself. In the mid-80s, when many of us were watching MTV become a dominant force in popular culture, Madonna seemed to release a new video every few months, each one more elaborate and controversial than the last. Material Girl presented her as a Marilyn Monroe-inspired bombshell, like a prayer mixed religious imagery with themes of racial justice and romance, causing such an uproar that Pepsi canceled a major endorsement deal. But Madonna didn't just court controversy for its own sake. She was making statements about female sexuality, power, and independence at a time when women in the music industry were expected to be either wholesome or to conform to male fantasies without challenging them. Madonna did neither. She embraced her sexuality on her own terms and demanded to be taken seriously as an artist and businesswoman. By the late 80s, Madonna had become the highest-paid female entertainer in the world. Her Who's That Girl tour in 1987 was a massive global success, and she was breaking attendance records everywhere she went. For many women of that generation, Madonna represented a new kind of femininity, strong, independent, unapologetic, and in control. The 1990s brought new challenges and triumphs. In 1990, Madonna released Vogue, a song that brought the underground ballroom culture of New York's LGBTQ community into the mainstream. The song and its iconic black and white video were instant classics, and the angular pose-striking dance style became a global phenomenon. For many in the LGBTQ community, Madonna's championing of their culture during the height of the AIDS crisis meant everything. Her Blonde Ambition tour in 1990 was a groundbreaking spectacle that redefined what a pop concert could be. With its elaborate choreography, controversial cone-shaped costumes, designed by Jean-Paul Gaultier, and openly sexual themes, it was more performance art than traditional concert. The tour was documented in the film Truth or Dare, which gave fans an unprecedented behind-the-scenes look at Madonna's life. 1992 saw the release of Erotica and the coffee table book Sex, both of which pushed boundaries even further. While these projects were controversial and received mixed reviews, they demonstrated Madonna's refusal to play it safe or cater to expectations. She was exploring themes of sexuality, power, and fantasy in ways that made many people uncomfortable, But that was precisely the point. As the 90s progressed, Madonna showed her versatility as an artist. In 1996, she starred in the film adaptation of Evita, playing Argentine political icon Eva Perón. Her performance earned her a Golden Globe Award for Best Actress, proving that she was more than just a pop star. The soundtrack's You Must Love Me won the Academy Award for Best Original Song, adding an Oscar to Madonna's collection of accolades. That same year, she gave birth to her first child, Lourdes. Motherhood brought a new dimension to Madonna's public persona. She spoke openly about how becoming a mother had changed her perspective on life and her priorities. For many women who had followed Madonna's career since the 80s, seeing her embrace motherhood while continuing her career was inspiring. The late 90s and early 2000s saw Madonna continue to evolve. Her 1998 album, Ray of Light, marked a significant artistic shift. Working with producer William Orbit, she created a more mature, introspective sound, influenced by electronic music and her studies of Kabbalah, a form of Jewish mysticism. The album was both a critical and commercial success, winning multiple Grammy Awards and showing that Madonna could reinvent herself yet again. In 2000, she married British film director Guy Ritchie and gave birth to her son, Rocco. She also moved to London, embracing British culture and developing what some jokingly called a British accent. Her music album that year continued the electronic direction of Ray of Light while being more playful and dance-oriented. The new millennium brought challenges too. Her 2002 album, American Life, was released just as the United States was entering the Iraq War, and its anti-materialist, anti-war themes were considered controversial. The title track's video, which featured violent imagery including Madonna throwing a grenade at a figure resembling President George W. Bush, was pulled after public outcry. But controversy had never stopped Madonna before, and it didn't now. Her 2005 Confessions on a Dance Floor album was a return to pure dance pop, and it was a massive success, reminding everyone why she was called the Queen of Pop. The accompanying tour was one of the highest-grossing tours by a female artist at that time. Throughout her career, Madonna has been a savvy businesswoman. She founded her own entertainment company, negotiated unprecedented control over her music and image, and built a business empire that extended far beyond music. She invested in fashion, founded a record label, and became involved in film production. For women entering business in the 80s and 90s, Madonna was proof that female entertainers could be more than just performers, they could be moguls. Her philanthropic work, particularly in Africa, has been significant. She founded the charity Raising Malawi in 2006, which provides education and support for orphans and vulnerable children in that country. She also adopted 4 children from Malawi, expanding her family and bringing attention to the challenges facing African children. Madonna's influence on fashion cannot be overstated. From the Material Girl look of pearls and pink satin to the cone bra of the Blonde Ambition tour, from her reinvention as a geisha, in Nothing Really Matters to her cowgirl persona in music, she has consistently set trends and inspired designers. For those of us who lived through these eras, each new Madonna look was an event, something to be discussed and often imitated. Her impact on other artists is equally profound. Countless performers, from Britney Spears to Lady Gaga to Beyoncé, have cited Madonna as an influence. She showed that female pop stars could have long careers, could control their own destinies, and could be taken seriously as artists. She proved that controversy and commercial success weren't mutually exclusive, and that constantly reinventing yourself could be a viable career strategy. What perhaps makes Madonna most relevant to seniors today is her refusal to accept society's expectations about aging. Now in her mid-60s, she continues to tour, release albums, and push boundaries. Her Celebration tour, which concluded recently, was a massive retrospective of her 40-year career, playing to sold-out arenas around the world. She performs physically demanding choreography, wears daring costumes, and shows no signs of slowing down. This has been controversial, of course. Some critics argue that she should age gracefully or retire from performing. But Madonna has consistently rejected these notions, arguing that women should be able to express themselves however they choose at any age. For many women in their 50s, 60s, and beyond, Madonna's continued vitality and refusal to be defined by her age is empowering. Madonna's personal life has had its share of struggles too. Her marriage to Guy Ritchie ended in divorce in 2008, a painful and public split. She's faced custody battles over her son Rocco, health scares, and the constant scrutiny that comes with being one of the most famous people in the world. Yet she's remained resilient, often channeling her personal experiences into her art. Her relationship with her children has been a source of both joy and challenge. Lourdes, her oldest, has become a model and artist in her own right. Rocco pursued art and largely stays out of the spotlight. Her adopted children, David, Mercy James, and twins Stella and Esther, have brought international adoption issues into public discourse. Looking back at Madonna's career, what stands out is her consistency in being inconsistent. She's never been content to repeat herself or to rest on her laurels. Each era of her career has brought something new. Whether it was the street-smart dance pop of the early 80s, the controversial religious imagery of Like a Prayer, the house music influence of Vogue, the introspection of Ray of Light, or the disco revival of Confessions on a Dance Floor. For those of us who grew up with Madonna, she's been a constant presence in our cultural landscape for over 4 decades. We've watched her evolve from the scrappy girl from Michigan with big dreams to one of the most successful and influential entertainers in history. We've seen her make mistakes, court controversy, triumph over adversity, and constantly reinvent herself. Madonna has sold over 300 million records worldwide, making her one of the best-selling music artists of all time. She holds the Guinness World Record as the best-selling female recording artist of all time. She's won 7 Grammy Awards, 20 MTV Video Music Awards, and numerous other accolades. She was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2008 on her first year of eligibility. But perhaps more importantly than the statistics and awards is what Madonna represents. She represents the power of ambition, the importance of self-reinvention, and the courage to be yourself even when the world tells you to be something else. She showed that women could be sexy and smart, that they could be mothers and moguls, that they could age on their own terms. Her music has been the soundtrack to countless lives. Like a Virgin played at weddings despite its provocative title. Like a Prayer became an anthem of spiritual searching. Vogue taught people how to strike a pose. Ray of Light provided comfort during difficult times. Hung Up brought ABBA back into popular consciousness and filled dance floors around the world. Madonna's story is uniquely American in many ways. It's a story of someone who came from humble beginnings, worked incredibly hard, took enormous risks, and achieved extraordinary success. It's a story of immigration, with her Italian heritage playing a significant role in her identity. It's a story of New York City in the 80s, when the city was rough around the edges but bursting with creative energy. It's also a story about the power of popular culture to reflect and shape society. Madonna didn't just respond to the times she lived in, she helped define them. She pushed conversations about sexuality, gender, religion, and power into the mainstream. She made people uncomfortable, made them think, and made them dance. For seniors reflecting on the past 40 years of cultural history, Madonna is an essential figure. Whether you loved her or hated her, whether you bought her albums or boycotted them, she was impossible to ignore. She was a mirror reflecting our society's attitudes about women, sexuality, ambition, and fame. She was a lightning rod for controversy, but also a beacon of possibility. Today, as Madonna continues her career well into her 60s, she remains as relevant and controversial as ever. Her recent health scare, when she was hospitalized with a serious bacterial infection, reminded the world of her mortality. But true to form, she recovered and went right back to work, completing her celebration tour and showing the same determination that carried her from that tiny apartment in New York to the biggest stages in the world. Madonna's legacy is complex and multifaceted. She's a pop icon, a fashion trendsetter, a controversial figure, a businesswoman, a mother, and a survivor. She's inspired millions and outraged millions more. She's broken records, broken rules, and broken new ground throughout her career. Love her or hate her, there's no denying that Madonna Louise Ciccone from Bay City, Michigan, has left an indelible mark on popular culture and on the world.